Hi everyone, welcome back. It's SpringRae here with another video. Doing this video, meant to do it maybe a day ago, to talk about Selling Sunset Season 6. It's one of my favorite shows. I've been watching ever since it first came out. Season 1, like I don't know how many years ago. Seems like time is flying by since that season came out. So I feel like they're doing at least 2 seasons a year because there's no way I've been watching that show for 6 years. There's no way. But I was trying to give everyone a chance to watch it before I made this video so that there will be spoilers. Didn't want to spoil the show for everyone. But I'm doing this because got some not so good news. Earlier today that has made me a little sad, not even a little, a lot sad. So I was just like, okay, well, I've wanted to make this video and I like doing, video editing is something that brings me joy. So I said, okay, I'm going to make my video now and hopefully lift up my mood just a little bit. But, so Selling Sunset Season 6, lots and lots, and this will give me good laughs too. Lots of stuff went on, stuff went down. And I just wrote down pretty much everyone's name. I'm going to go through everybody on my sticky note, everybody in the cast this season. And I guess I should start off with Bree. That's who I wrote down first. Bree, I'm not even going to mention last names, y'all. Go watch the show. I'm not mentioning last names. I'm sorry. But Bree is the newest cast member on Selling Sunset. And, you know, what can I say about Bree? When I first watched this show, the whole time I was just like, oh, I don't like this Bree person. Why is she in the show? But then I realized after kind of going back and really thinking about it, it's not that I didn't like Bree. It's that I did not like the fact that Nick Cannon's name was brought up in pretty sure it was the first episode. I'm finished with the show, but the first episode. And I was just like, I am trying to escape having to hear about this man. And now he's moved into one of my favorite shows to watch. If I wanted to watch a show or see what's going on with Nick Cannon or even have anything to do with Nick Cannon, there's Wild 'N Out. And honestly, y'all, I never really watched that show. I might have watched it like one time when it first came out, and one time was enough for me. I never looked back. But the whole thing with Bree is that her whole storyline for season 6 is that she was trying to stand up for Nick Cannon and the whole, you know, baby mama situation, how it was just the whole storyline for her was based off of this man that I didn't care about hear about at all. And so I will say this, that did not ruin season 6 for me. It was still watchable, but in the first episode though, I was kind of like worried because I was just like, this better not be all about Nick Cannon, even though many episodes were talking about her being in their whole situation. And so I feel like that took away from her as a person, and it wasn't just her fault. Because moving on, Chelsea was one of my favorites in the season. A lot of people said that she came in to take over like Christine's role of being like this mean girl that's always, you know, just in people's faces and giving a, you know, like, I don't care about you or what people think type feel, and just doing the most. I don't think she's trying to be Christine. I think Chelsea is an authentic person. And, you know, she's not somebody that knowing myself, like not being someone that likes to dress up all the time, wear heels all the time. I don't think I would be like close friends with her, but I appreciate Chelsea because 99.9% of the time, it tells it like it is. She doesn't sugarcoat. She doesn't go back and forth, like switching up what she's saying. Most of the time she's saying what she means and she follows through, even if people don't agree with what she has to say. I love Chelsea for that, and she was one of my favorites this season. I'm glad they showed her more in the season as well. But the whole thing that I did not like is Chelsea and Bree going back and forth about like Bree's situation with Nick Cannon. I mean, I would say that I'm along, like, my thoughts are with how Chelsea was saying. I feel for kids who are in this situation. They have no say, like, who their dad is, and just not having the time to spend with their dad. So, like, many people will be like, oh, Nick Cannon is a great father, but just the time. And Chelsea says it perfectly in one of the episodes. She explains it. I think it was to Emma, about how she was feeling about the situation. But at the same time, Bree's a grown woman. If that's what she wants for her life, then, you know, I think Chelsea's going to have to let it go. But at the same time, she doesn't have to be okay with that type. If that's not a relationship, that a style that she supports, like, Bree can't tell her that she has to support it. So I get it from both sides. I just feel like that took away from a lot of what the show could have been about. And it took over Bree's whole storyline. Like, I think she could have been more show worthy yeah. So anyway, that's that on them. The other thing, I was still trying to connect how Bree got into selling real estate. I don't know if she mentioned, like, her real interest or passion. I heard she was doing it, since 2019, I think, like maybe a couple of years. But then somebody did point out too, like, there was no mention of her ever selling anything in this season. So I don't know if that's coming up. There is a season 7 for those who want to know. There's already a season 7. They show previews at the end of season 6. So to be continued with Bree, and hopefully she can, sell some homes. Chelsea, the other thing she did make a good point about was with Mary. She was saying how Mary, she could see how Mary should kind of take more control when Mary was running the office and kind of just things were going just batshit crazy. Chelsea was kind of laying down the law and saying, like, you're the boss here right now. Jason and Brett left you in charge. And I think Chelsea kind of had that mentality, like, if you're not going to do it, I'm here, I can take over. And like I said, Chelsea, I enjoyed her this season. Everything she said, I pretty much agreed with. So we were on the same page. Mary, in this episode, I feel like I don't know. Mary was like one of my original favorites from the show. I feel like I have a similar personality to Mary in some things. But what I don't get is why she felt like I don't know, I just felt like she wasn't taking up, like, the boss role as much. She was trying to be friend, and I got lipstick on my teeth. It's hard to be friend and be someone's boss, so I get it from that standpoint, but I just feel like she wasn't giving as much effort to the boss side of things. She was still trying to be people's friends. So that's the only thing. Mary, work on that. And then speaking of Mary, her husband, the young husband, I forget his name, y'all. Sorry, I'm not looking it up. But I'm trying to figure out what in the world was he doing with the condo, or the condo that Jason had put a lot of money into. I don't know if Brett put money into that as well. But I'm just like, her husband, sometimes I'm just like, is he really working? Is, like, he meeting the deadlines? Because every time I see him working on a project, it seems like there's always some type of delay. And I know construction, with the pandemic, stuff like that has gone on, it does delay some things. So I don't know when this was filmed exactly, but I'm just like, I feel like this has happened several times, and his projects are delayed. Don't know what that's about. And of course, Mary's trying to stand up for her husband because she had the whole argument with Jason about it not being finished or not being where the project should have been. So, yeah, I think he put in 10 million into those, but that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money just to be like, I hope this works. A lot of money. Okay. And then moving on, let's go to Heather next. Heather, I thought that I, was cool with Heather, and I was until this season. I'm excited for her. She has a baby on the way. But what I did not understand was her mainly coming at Chelsea this season, towards the end, and, trying to put Chelsea on blast about saying stuff about Brie. And, apparently, Heather and Brie formed this friendship earlier on before everyone else in the office. And I was just like, that's interesting that they're the only one, like she's the only one that Brie, met before she met everyone else. That's a little odd. But, and so of course she's known her for a little longer than everyone else. And, I don't know. I just felt like Heather was coming at Chelsea for talking about Brie. And again, Chelsea, that's her personality. Chelsea says it like it is, right? Nothing new. Chelsea was like that last season. She was very in your face, and that was just her. But the thing is, Heather, everything Chelsea said to the group, Heather took back to Brie. So I just felt like Heather was being very two-faced and hypocritical. Like whenever she approached Chelsea about saying stuff, I was like, you literally are just taking everything and, taking it back to Brie. So I think Chelsea was right in her concern about their friendship, because she even mentioned, she's like, well, I've known you longer than Brie has, and now all of a sudden you're acting, just acting different. So anyway, Heather, wasn't feeling you this season. Jason, there's a couple things. One, Jason and of course Chriselle are no longer together, but can't remember how long it took for him to get over the relationship. But now he's with this 24-year-old model. She has a baby face like me. But she's really, her face, I guess it doesn't really match up with her age. She does look young in the face. But I'm just like, I had a great laugh when Jason thought that he was a millennial. I'm like, I'm a millennial. And Jason was like, I'm a millennial. I think it was to Chelsea, and Chelsea's husband and his girlfriend was there. And he was just like, he was born in the 70s. I'm like, Jason. And then I think it was Chelsea's husband was telling him, he was just like, I'm the oldest millennial. And I think he was born in 82, 83. I can't remember, but not in the 70s. So Jason is Generation X, I believe, but he didn't know that. He thinks he's a millennial, y'all. Jason, you're not a millennial, sweetie. You're not a millennial. I'm sorry. So that gave me such a good laugh. It kind of showed just how funny he could be. Other things about Jason, I thought that the season, I thought he was going to still be like in love with Chriselle, but apparently that didn't happen, because like when they made contact for the first time in a while, it seemed like they were a little flirty. But yeah, he seems to be apparently in love with this girlfriend. And on the next what do you call it, season, I think it shows them, I don't know, it shows something interesting, so we'll see. To be continued. Okay, I'm going to mention Brett now, since I mentioned his brother. Am I done with Jason? Jason, am I done with you? I think so. I think Jason was deserving in his vacation just to get away. So I can't blame him for leaving Mary with that. But then I also thought, I was just like, what happened to Brett? Did Brett go with him on vacation? Where was Brett? Let's move on to Brett. What happened to him? The whole season was about Jason. I was like, where did Brett go? Does Brett still work at Oppenheim? Where's your twin, Jason? Did you eat your twin while you were on vacation? So, yeah, that's puzzling to me. Like, Brett was in maybe 1 or 2 screenshots, and then I didn't see him. He was not even talked about. Like, everybody talked about Jason. That was not nice. Brett deserves more time. I'm gonna, like, advocate. Brett deserves at least 10 minutes of every episode for next season, because he barely got time this season. And I almost forgot that Jason was a twin. I'll be honest. Okay, so I'm going to end this video here because my upload time acts weird. I'm going to come back with a part 2 to talk about the rest of the cast. Hope you enjoyed part 1. Join part 2. I'll add it later. Okay, bye.